What's going on, y'all? Fatboy Chronicles. Um, I popped on my YouTube because I got a lot I want to talk about and a lot I want to address and things I gotta say. Well, not a lot, but just a few things. Um, One, I'm gonna say this for people who don't know, depression is like a real situation. I deal with this shit on a daily. And it's not easy to deal with, and it's not a it's not easy to manage either. It's very hard to manage. I do the best I can because every day is a struggle. But depression is real, y'all. Like, if people don't believe depression is real, it's real. If people suffer from it, they're not crazy, they're not retarded, they're not nothing wrong with them chemically, none of that. It's just something people suffer from and people go through. There's a lot of bullshit out here in the world, and people deal with it one way or the other way. But either way it goes, everybody deals with some form of depression at some point. Whether it's on a larger scale like myself, or on a smaller scale where they just manage it and deal with it. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to put that out there right quick that depression is real. It's a real situation, and that's it. And if you need help or whatever, go get that help. There's nothing wrong with talking to someone about it. Switching gears. Now, yesterday, I believe it was, Joe Jackson died, father of Michael, Janet, the whole Jackson clan. He died. He was 89. Um, Here's my thing about Joe Jackson. I don't praise Joe Jackson. I praise him for, you know, pushing his kids to superstardom, because that was an accomplishment within itself. And if anybody's ever heard the story or seen the movie or anything like that, then the struggles that they went through before they got to the good side of it or whatever. Um Joe Jackson, from this is from all media stuff. This is not from necessarily um anything else in particular, but this is all media stuff. And me personally, I feel like Joe Jackson's not a dude to be praised. He's not a dude to be honored. He was a horrible man. Like, he beat his kids. Um, Everything under the sun. He pushed his kids way too hard. I get it. They became superstars. I get it. But at the same time, being forceful and putting and doing what he did, he damaged his children as well. You've seen it in Michael, you've seen it in Janet, you've seen it in all his kids. That there's a little tick off with them, and that's probably due to the abuse of their father and the different things that were going on. So I don't praise Joe Jackson for anything but putting his kids in a position to win. I'll give him that credit, but anything else, I don't give him too much of credit. Um, Also, I wanted to talk about Dame Dash approaching Lee Daniels at the Diana Ross concert. I don't know what the hell Dame was doing there. He was probably there trying to go check Lee Daniels. So apparently, he let Lee Daniels borrow $2 million back in the day to I believe it was to do Precious or do something with the $2 million. He was supposed to pay it back. Of course, Lee Daniels blew up Stars, Empire, Precious, The Butler. All these great movies came out with from Lee Daniels, and he never paid Dame. And Dame confronted him at the Diana Ross concert a couple nights ago and told him, dude, like, we're black men and we shouldn't even be treating each other that way, or whatever the case may be. Here's my thing. I feel the same way. I feel like as black men, we don't, when we lean on each other or when we need the extra help or whatever the case may be, um, we'll borrow the money from our, said brother or whatever, and we'll never pay it back, which is, that's a problem. And that's a problem within not just the black community, but just in general, people not paying people back and paying it forward. I know Dame has threw a lot of money at a lot of cats, and putting them on and stuff like that. And growing up when I was a kid, and you saw a talent or you seen something somebody was really good at, you put money in, you put your money up. You know what I'm saying? You was like, hey, boom, let me get you that bread right quick. I know this for a fact because I tried to start a label back in the day with a partner of mine, and we were moving, we were on the move. A lot of people don't know that about me, but I almost was a label head. Like I was talking to majors, and my boy snaked me in the end and ran off with some dough, and I ain't seen or heard from him since. And that's that's the mentality we have as black men, and just in general as black people. When we get ahead, we have this tendency to kind of like snake everybody else that tried to help us get ahead, instead of bringing everybody along and trying to put people in position. I know this for a fact. I've seen Dame Dash do it when he had Rockefeller. He had artists. He had Beanie Siegel. He had Jay-Z and all these other cats. Like he took Beanie Siegel and put Beanie over here with State Property, and that was his clothing line. That was his baby, and Dame helped broker that. But it was all Rockefeller still. The state, the Diplomats and the Dipset. Dame did the same thing with them. He put them in position to have their own label, to have their own positions, to be their own general and be their own men. And repeatedly, I've seen people use Dame in that manner and sit here and basically not pay this man or pay it forward. And like I said, growing up, I grew up in the 80s, in the 90s. When you got on, you put your mans on. And when you put your mans on, your other mans were supposed to put your other mans on. And that's how it's supposed to go. Everybody was supposed to eat. Everybody was supposed to eat on one plate and then be taught how to make their own plate so other people can eat off that plate as well. But now we have this crab in the barrel syndrome where we can't see one person getting ahead because we feel like we're going to be left behind. And I think it's wrong. I think building and putting people in position to get better and to be their own bosses, I think that's like the move. It's time to be more entrepreneurial and not necessarily working for the corporate all the time or working for a specific person. It's time for everybody to own their own. My father worked corporate for years, and now he owns his own stuff, and he makes way more money than he made doing the corporate stuff. Why? Because, he invested in himself. And now he's trying to put people on as well. And I think that's a big problem in our community. We don't put people on. We don't try to support those that are in our inner circle and that need that little extra hand or need that little extra help. And there's some of us in the circle. There's some people in people's circles who aren't worthy of the help, who are not worthy of getting that extra attention, and we know who they are. We don't even pay attention to them. But those that are actually sitting there struggling and trying to get to that next level, I was taught that early. I will never get on and not bring my boys on. That's like, if I eat, everybody eat. And that's just the type of person I am. I don't like to be stingy. I don't like to be, I'm not that type of person. I've never been that kind of person. I'm the type of person that everybody eats, everybody gets on, everybody plays a role until you can get your own and do your own thing. And we have a big problem with that. And I think we need to get back to sharing and caring with one another and building each other up instead of just looking at this man, oh, he's competition or he's this or he's that. We got to stop doing that. We got to start putting people in position so they can be captains and generals and all this other stuff that goes on. White people do it all the time. And that's not being racist or anything. They do it all the time. They put their people on regardless. It don't matter who it is. They putting family members on, putting this and that. Now, if they family members don't cut it, they cut them off. But for the most part, they're putting them on. And a lot of them get on and then put their friends on. So I think that's something we need to do in the black community is build each other up. Once we get to a status, we come back, we build each other up so that everybody can eat and everybody can make money and do what we got to do. And we don't have to depend on a welfare or a Section 8 or foods. You know, we don't have to depend on none of that. We could depend on one another, and we could depend on each other to look out for one another and making sure that we're in a position that's sustainable and a position that'll keep us where we need to be and competing with you know who. So that's my thing. Anyway, let me get up off of here. I just wanted to pop on here because I haven't been on my YouTube channel in a while. So now I'm going to start doing my YouTube a little bit more, trying to build up my followers and stuff like that. That's pretty much it, man. Fat Boy Chronicles, get at me. YouTube, Oliver 30. Facebook, Lindsay R. Harris Jr. YouTube, y'all already know, Pooh7088. Twitter, Pooh312. Just get at me. Get at me, y'all. I'm trying to build up my following and, you know, build up my situation with YouTube. Also, just a little announcement. I don't know when it's going to happen yet, but I'm in the process of getting clothing started. Hats, shirts, hoodies, everything that goes with my Fat Boy Chronicles. I'm in the process. I'm talking to a guy right now of getting hats, shirts, hoodies, all that stuff. Logo. I'm trying to get a logo going. I'm trying to make this big. I'm trying to make it happen. So, you know, all the support is needed and all the support is wanted. And I appreciate every single person that supports. I really, really do. And I'm trying to get on so I can bring other people on, like my brother. He's a producer. He makes music. I'm trying to bring him onto the situation as well. And once I get on, I'm bringing other people along. So I'm not finna be stagnant in one lane. I'm finna make sure that everybody else gets on and gets to eat as well. So yeah, get at me, y'all. Love you all, y'all. Appreciate all y'all that watch my videos, like and comment, all that. Like I said, lately I've been on Facebook, but I'm gonna start getting back on YouTube. But again, I appreciate all y'all. Get at me. Peace.